Hello. So you have made it through the first week where you've mapped out your goals or the projects that you have for your ministry. And so now it's time to take that one step further. And so what you're going to do is you'll receive a sheet that's going to have an overview of the difference between projects, milestones, tasks, and subtasks. And so this is just going to list out the different pieces of that. So if you take each one of those goals that you've had, um, and you break that down, you're going to start with what we call a milestone. And so a milestone is going to be a significant point or event within the project timeline that you need to hit that kind of signifies you're moving on to the next step. So there's going to be lots of different versions of what a milestone might be. But then underneath that, you're going to then map out tasks. So for example, if your milestone, if your project is, I want to launch a new website, one milestone might be to create all of the copy for the website. So underneath that, you would have underneath the milestone of website copy, you would then have a task to create a bio, create an about me page, create a service offering page. So all the content that's going to go on each of those pages. So that would show you the difference between tasks and milestones. So that again, that milestone is a significant point or event that's going to kind of trigger you to move on to the next part of that project. The tasks are going to be the specific actions or items that need to be completed to achieve the milestone. And then you have a subtask. You are welcome to use subtasks. You don't have to. Some people find it easier to really just do the milestone and then the task. But if you're also going to use subtasks, that would be a smaller, more detailed action that's going to basically tell you the steps that you need to create to complete each task within that milestone, if that makes sense. So I will, at the bottom of this overview sheet, you'll get this overview sheet. It'll explain all the differences. At the bottom of that, you're going to also find an example. So here's a milestone is to launch a new community program. Task one would be to develop the program curriculum. A subtask would be research best practices and create lesson plans. And then there's task two would be to recruit volunteers for your new community program. So you're going to create a recruitment flyer would be a subtask and schedule an informational session. So that's an example of that. Here's an example, like a full example project for you to view that. So organizing a youth retreat. Here's all the milestones listed at the top. You can see each milestone is shown here, and then each task is subtask. So those are all listed in this sample for you. You are also going to receive this project timeline. So don't be alarmed by the amount of columns you see in this. This is going to help us map out in a further session, kind of when you're going to work on doing these things. So for now, you're going to just use this section on the left. And so you're going to see here at the top that there's the consistent rhythms. So for example, I do once a month, I do a CEO day where I do nothing, I do no client work, I do no external meetings, I only focus on my business work. And so in that, you are going to just make note of all the things that are consistent rhythms. So those are my top three things that I do consistently. Every month, I do a CEO day for a full work day. Every month, typically I do this on the CEO day, but also can be sometimes different. I will do monthly planning. So I will sit and I will time block what the next 4 weeks look like so that I know exactly when I'm doing client work versus when I'm doing business work versus when I'm doing content creation, when I'm going to film, those types of things. And then also a weekly planning. So once a week, I review what got accomplished from this past week, what's coming ahead. And so those are my consistent rhythms. So go ahead and list those here. If you need more lines, feel free to add more lines, but list those here at the top. And then underneath here, you're going to see project one. That's going to show you an outline of the sample of what the structure is. So project number one, and then the name of the project. Then you'll have this little black and white checkered flag is going to indicate your milestones. The red pin is going to indicate tasks, and then the subtasks will have no icon. So I typically will copy and paste this over and over as I'm adding more milestones, tasks, and subtasks. So again, here's this project to organizing a youth retreat. So this is going to be exactly the same content that's coming off of your overview sheet. So you can kind of compare these to see. Um, so you'll see here's the milestones, selecting a location and date, planning the activities and schedule, promoting the retreat, and preparing materials and supplies, and then obviously executing the retreat. So those are the milestones. Remember, black checkered flag. The tasks that need to occur for selecting a location and date is to research potential retreat venues, and to secure the venue. So those are the things that need to happen. So go ahead and take all of the goals that made it from through the funnel. So you did the funnel last week of, does this align with my mission statement and does this reach my target audience? Any of the goals or projects that made it through both of those, you're going to list those as the project, and you're going to map out all of the milestones, tasks, and subtasks for those. And then in the future upcoming weeks, we're going to actually put those out, date those on a timeline so that you have an idea of what's going to need to happen per quarter and per month. And so yeah, be sure to reach out if you have questions, but I'm glad to help. So excited to see what you come up with this week.